All right, brother, you got it. Q&A.
Question Q&A. What were we called before 1492? The natural people who are the founders of civilization and the mothers and fathers of the human family were called Moors. Moors, Mu, Mature, Moras, Moor, Morans, Moroccan, Almoroccans, etc. These are some of the dialectical pronunciations according to varied languages, such as Moorish Latin, Middle English, Germanic, French, Greek, etc. Two, who is the original man and woman? The ancient Moabites, Moors, the Asiatic, sometimes referred to as Mu, Lemurians, in the latter day history, Canaanites, Africans. Who is man and who is mankind? Kind of man. Man is a name that designates the human species. Hominidae, hominidae. Woman and her sons. Mankind is reference to modern man, the hybrid, hybridia, amalgamity,
Amal Amalgamated.
amalgamated Moors, known as Paleothetic man, Neanderthal, Troglodytes, Niger, Ingla man, Albion, or European. We all are Americans. Assuming this question is directed to the dark olive Asiatic aborigines of the land, the response is that the Moors are true possessors of the present Moroccan Empire, which spanned from Tamari, now called Africa, even across the Great Atlantis, and includes Northwest, Central, and Southwest Axum. And the Atlantis Islands, these geographical areas are now called America, North, Central, South, and the adjoining islands.
But real quick before you continue, I just wanted to highlight, let me let this brother in. I just wanted to highlight the fact, in my opinion, when I'm talking to people, and because a lot of our people think about Africa, in the sense of Egypt. We're the Egyptians. We was the pharaohs. We used to be kings and queens. Our people get that concept, but we want me personally when I let them know like it's not Egypt, that's a corruption by what they think is called the Greek and Romans. It's Tamaray will be the original name for Egypt. Okay, brother, I get that. Okay, I hear you. Now, Tamaray, when you separate Ta and Moray, Ta, Terra, land, More, Latin, any Proto-European language, Moor is gonna pronounce like Moray, Morai. Is it so basically you're saying the land of the Moors. So if the land of the Moors is basically saying Egypt, that means Egypt would be like a common misnomer generalization of the Moors. How I just said that is a good way to talk to the people in that space. It clicks, it's logical, it makes sense. Because now we're talking about etymology. Tom Murray is what it is. It's not an opinion, the land of the Moors. That's the translation. It's not a debate, right? So if that's what people are thinking Egypt is, that's a good way to slow walk the people with some common sense. Brother Carlton Beverly, peace and love, man. I'm not sure if you're a father, but happy Father's Day. Uh, all right, go ahead, brother. You got it. Yeah.
Who is this man? Americo Vespucci, that Europeans claim America was named after. Amerigos Vespucci was a European of Italian descent and a neophyte explorer who sailed from the Moorish city of Cadiz to learn the latitudinal and longitudinal imaginary grid line used by the Moors for navigating the earth, particularly using the sextant to measure one heavenly body in relation to another against the horizon, from determining longitude and latitude positions while at sea or on the oceans.
All right, real quick. And I see you chimed in, brother Carlton. Beverly, peace and love once again, and happy Father's Day. Not sure if you have a child or not, but if you all right, see this part right here, the sextant. You said sextant, particularly using the sextant to measure the heavenly body. So what I want to highlight is whoever hasn't read the rudder and sextant. The rudder and sextant. It's a you can just Google that, and I think it's free online. But yeah, Google rudder and sextant PDF. Yeah, type it into it. And what you're gonna see, that's Moorish government structure. And the rudder and sextant is it's basically like a body politic, but it would appear that it's looking like somebody steering a ship in the context of like the sea. Uh, but yeah, rudder Rudder and sextant. All right, so yeah, it's drawing a parallel between steering. Yeah, there, yeah, the parallel between steering a ship and organized government. The elected officials, the sheiks, the emirs, the sultans, the pharaohs, the emperors, empresses, the caliphs, the caliphas, etc. Were elected officials, elected by the people to do X, Y, Z, diplomacy, diplomatic ambassadorship to represent the nation, the head for correspondence, etc. Um, that would be the rudder. No, the rudder would be the people. The sextant would be the people elected. So I just gave a little summary, but it's more to the rudder and sextant, but I just highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. All right. Go ahead, brother. Let me scroll down a little bit. And if there's any, like I said, when we're going through this list, if you want any type of side dialogue or to get better comprehension on the Q&A that we're going through, anybody just chime in. But you got it, brother, DL.
Okay. What is the name Axum that the Moors claimed the Americas was called?
Amexem.
Amexem. Amexem is the ancient name of the lands known as Africa, including North, Central, and South America. Who is Christopher Columbus? And if he is the one who discovered America, then why was this continent not named after him? Cristoforo Colombo was a European inquisitionist and a sadist whose actual mission was theft and murder by genocide, initiated
Inquisition. Just real quick, he was an inquisitionist.
Inquisitionist.
And
And
whoever, if that's new to anybody, look up the Spanish Inquisition. And you see, just take off IST and just see what that's about. You're gonna see that's basically the Pope sending orders to conquer our people west of Rome. But just look it up, the Spanish Inquisition. More things to have in your toolbox to explain how did we get conquered? What led to this? What's the history? You need to know about the Spanish Inquisition. That's something you need to be thoroughly abreast with. All right, but you got it, brother, DL.
initiated for Christendom against the Aboriginal Moorish tribes of the Western Hemisphere. The continent was not named after Colombo because he didn't discover America. Amaru America, Amexem, already has its name and was already a highly cultured and thriving civilization. Who are the Native Americans? Native American is another contemporary sociology term or disassociation conquest tag, an invented construct of European conquerors. It, like many other misnomers and tags, it's not a national identity of the Aboriginals, but it's a political status, class designation designed to expand upon social and political divisions, displacement, and confusion amongst the Aboriginal Moors of the Americas.
All right, so now we know Native American. That's not a proper term. That's just as bad as saying Black, Negro, colored, Hispanic. All right, so we're not Native American. That term, right? All right, so let's continue.
Are we black, brown, red, yellow, white people? No, we Asiatic are not black, brown, red, yellow, orange, light skin, black, purple, plaid, or green people, etc. The human family collectively is identified and known by the nationalities and predatory names, not by crown colors. This deep sign of mental ignorance was promoted by in what's the Inquisitionists? Inquisition,
Inquisition.
Inquisition,
Inquisitionists.
Inquisitionists. First time I heard that word. Inquisitionists to denationalize the rightful heirs of the inheritors of the land, America, Amarak. However, the Europeans were calling themselves red men prior to the political adaptation of the political status. White men in the 1854-63. This caste adaptation was initiated by Horace Greeley, a newspaper tycoon from New York. He influenced
Okay,
the
so
transfer.
so before we continue, so just so we make sure we all comprehending, before 1854, when we think of a blonde hair, blue eyed person that most people call white, that's new. Calling them white is new. They refer to themselves as red men. Right? That was ushered in by the Freemason, the Jesuit, that the brother just read, Horace Greeley. He was the head of the newspaper. So he started pushing that heavy, So now it's all in the commercials, white man, white man. So now everybody, slowly start calling, blonde hair, blue eye stock of people or et cetera, white. Also, what's important to highly comprehend with this Q&A section is the Whiggamore Party. Horace Greeley influenced the Whiggamore Party. And why I'm highlighting this, because that party, which this was prior to Republican, Party and stuff like that. Whiggamore, they wore the wigs. They wore the wigs, mocking our people that have coarse hair, the Aboriginal people of the land, the Moors. They put on wigs. Modern European put on wigs and had a political party and called it the Whiggamore Party. Then it became called the Whig Party. Then it became the Republican Party. And we're not talking about Republican form of government. We're talking about two-party system, the Democratic and Republican Party. I'm talking about Republican in that sense, right? That's the evolution. All right, go ahead. All right, you got it. I wanted to emphasize that. That's very important.
This cast, okay, he influenced the transformation of the Whigs Party into the Republican Party during the establishment of Knights of Columbus and Ku Klux Klan oath of 1854 to 1863 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and Chicago, Illinois, United States of North America. It must be further understood that the term free white people is a social caste appellation in jurisprudence and has nothing to do with the complexion of the skin. What is the difference between humans and humans? Human is a species. Hamiday, man, human is a sociological fad word used to designate or refer to natural peoples of the planet who naturally and obviously have by nature life force melanin in their skin. Who are the real Indians? The so-called Indians of the Americas or the Indians from India. Indian is propagated by European conquerors of the Western Hemisphere is a myth. America is not India, and the Aboriginals are not Indians. However, Europeans have called the Moors of the Western Hemispheres Indians because being influenced by Christopher Colombo, thought they had first arrived in Hindustan, Asia, just below China. The Aboriginal natural people and their culture were falsely designated as Indian, although the Europeans knew that they were not Indians. Sometimes the Europeans would designate the Moors as West Indians.
All right, so our people in the islands, Jamaica, Haiti, Cuba, what they call Puerto Rico, Turks and Tobago, right? The West Indies, right? So this is how you appeal to our people that you come across that are from these areas. You let them know, like, oh, Are you Jamaican? Oh, the Maroons. Oh yeah, I know about the Maroons. Oh yeah, we Moors, right? And then, same thing with the Haitians. You let them know, or Puerto Rican rather. I mean, Dominican Republican people. You let them know about what we learned last week. Saint Dominicus. The Pope sent the General Saint Dominicus turn our people Catholic if they were successful in war and stuff like that. Separate the women for the children. Now all of the children in half the island think they're Dominican, half the island think right identify as Haitian or being more of an ancient, you know, root. So this is how we can appeal. This is if we can appeal to the people, we going the people gonna come and unite with us. You know what I mean? And it's all about just knowing it. You know. Let me check the chat. I see it's kind of chat. Let me see. Okay, Rhetoric Sexton. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, appreciate you, brother. Yeah, check the chat, whoever and check the chat. The brother Benjamin Bay put the Rhetoric Sexton in the chat. Yeah, give that a look so you can kind of see what I was talking about. Okay, okay, you got it, brother. DL.
Who are the real Latinos? The Spanish-speaking Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Mexicans, Salvadorians, Brazilians, South Americans, or the Latinos from Spain, Portugal, France, Italy, Germany, etc. Latin is a language and not a people. Latino is another pseudo-identity construct of European sociologists designated for the purpose of promoting divisions among the natural peoples. Puerto Rican, Oregon, Dominicans, Haitians, Mexicans, El Salvadorians, Brazilians, and other true South Americans are all Moors, descendants of the ancient Moabites. What people stole all your nationalities and birthrights? The Dutch master colonists coined the tags and brands, Negro, Black, Colored, etc., to break the linear history of the Aboriginal Moors of Northwest Africa. North America, this is a mental warfare tactic used to disconnect the natural people from the illustrations history of their forefathers and from the land. Who are the Moors? Moors. And what is their history to the so-called Latinos, Blacks, Native American people in the world? Moor is the true consanguine pedigree of the natural people.
Consanguine. So the word consanguine or consanguinity means bloodline.
Consanguine, the true consanguine pedigree of the natural people. The other words such as Latinos, Blacks, Native Americans, etc., are misnomers, tags, and brands, having nothing to do with the true national names of the people of the earth. The Moors ruled the world, in 7 seas for over 1,196 years straight, until falling and being occupied by the Dutch, European Inquisitionists, and colonists. Where did the so-called Indians, red man and woman, come from? The so-called Indians are mixed Moors of Chinese and Moabite intermixing. Red man is designation or originating with Europeans and was commonly used until the mid-1800s. Who are the Olmecs? And what is their relationship to the Mayans, Aztecs, and all Americans? Olmecs, Mayans, and Aztecs, etc., are Aboriginal and indigenous natural peoples of Nahutian. Did I say that right?
Nahotian? Yeah.
Nahutian. Nahutian mixed tribes of ancient Moabites, Moors, who founded the Mexico. This is derived from the Old Moorish Latin word mixticus, which means to mix. Are all humans from all nationalities, races, all from Africa? Africa is a modern name of Amexem. The ancient Moabites are the mothers and fathers of the human family. The expanded nationalities, descendants of the ancient ones, are therefore obvious, whether through blood or mixed, thoroughblood or mixed. The human family origin is from the Moabite woman.
Okay. So let's marinate on this. So between 16 and 17, well, specific, let's address one, I guess, one at a time. So we're pretty much clear how to talk to our Mexican brothers and sisters, our people from the islands, right? We feel pretty equipped. There's a group right here,
Yeah, they are cousins, really.
but
We all related.
but
Family.
how how would you go? How would you go about that with specificity, with specifics, references?
Well, I would say I'll tell them to look at the structures of their ancient civilization, like you said, specifically the Olmecs, Mayans, Aztecs. And then I would tell them, like, look at them and look at the features, look at the cultures, and then you could also, look at the root of the words. Like right now where you said Mexico meaning to mix, like mix sticks. Describing like the root etymology is like you said, is an easy way to bring it home. And then also looking at the geological structures that they have, that they derive the ancient culture from. They can see that and it's tangible, I believe.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brother Ilian Bey, peace and love, man.
Peace and love, Islam.
Islam.
Nobles.
You came right in, right? We got you're talking about this Mexican brother, right? You talking right on time, right?
Thank you.
Well, anybody in the chat got any thoughts, anything they want to add to this space as far as how we can appeal to our people that think they're part of Latin America, how we can let them know how they're connected? Is it pretty clear?
Yeah, I mean, you're lucky just reading this. I mean, not just, but know about it because, like, kind of why my girl, her parents got a restaurant called Maya's, and they're like, quote unquote Mexican. So I'm like, wow, it's kind of like falls right in your lap, So and they would ask me a lot about, or when I come around about my feds and all that. And it's kind of difficult because they don't speak a lot of English, and my girl say what she can, but this definitely like clear, and I'm not just like pulling it out of the sky, and it definitely mixes the worlds in one because they even speak original Latin, you know what I mean? So it's like I'm like bringing their world to them, like, hey, I'm showing them within what they're saying how we're Moors and how we're related. So it's great that we can have a tool to step into their world, quote unquote, and show them, instead of an outside source that they're not familiar with.
Islam. That's what it's well said. That's what it's about. You got something, Brother Carlton? Or
Blessings, brother. How you? Blessings out to everybody today.
peace and love.
Peace and love. Peace and love, bro.
Peace and love. The way I love the introducing it, which is go hand in hand with this is I tend to we all came from Noah, you know what I'm saying? We all just, really go back from that. It's Noah, not with if, but when Noah's the father and then there's three sons and, these are the nations of the world. What I mean, we all just literally go back and, just follow, as we're doing this way, but and just a common sense of family, we are still all connected. So this right here, as you know, is definitely it. I just, that's my way of attending doing it, and this just adds to it, as we go down the line.
Yes, Islam. Brother Brian, I believe you finna say something, Brother Brian? Or Brother Larry?
I was just thinking like, as far as just like, it like Latin is the root of Spanish, right? Like at the back of Spanish is Latin, right?
Yeah, the origin, yeah.
So the more you understand Latin, the more you understand Spanish, and the easier it is to translate, make that connection for them, right?
Well, it's good to know that, but most of our people, I'm gonna say most, but some of our brothers and sisters that speak Spanish, they all don't speak the same Spanish. There's different dialects.
Right.
It just depends. But Latin would be a root, like etymology would be a root where any dialect will feel where you're coming from if you were to break it down. Like if you say the old Moorish Latin word mixticus, which means to mix, right? As far as the origin of Mexico and how the Mexicans are mixed, right, with modern day Mexicans, right? If we're talking
Yeah.
about the modern day, they're mixed with the conquistador Slav, right? And then the original man and woman that was already on the land in America. That's why you got different skin tones, right? But yeah, it's just being competent. Once again, just being able to lay the foundation down. Brother Larry Bay, I believe he's been chime in and say something.
Oh no. I'm good. No, I was listening to what you were saying. You hit it right on the nail with the whole the Moorish Latin paradigm. You know, just as easily as they have whitewashed and covered up Moorish history, the same they have attempted to do the same with Moorish Latin. Well, Moorish Latin. Latin is a dead language. You know, we
Yeah.
should see that as another attempt to whitewash our history completely, you know, by disowning it, you know, saying that it's old, it's not meant to be used, but that's our language. And by the way, Latino, there's no such thing as a Latino America. There's no such thing as that. Latino is a direct descendant of a Roman. And of course, Hispanic, that term is not even related to this land either. That goes back to Spain. Spanish, that's Spain. That is the Spaniards' language. So the people here spoke Moorish Latin. They didn't speak Spanish. They that was only incorporated after the Inquisition of I can't say it.
Conquistadors.
The
Conquistadors. Yeah.
conquistadors, right? The Inquisition, when they came over here and started colonizing the people and everything, you know, and that's why you know the Spanish, the language called Spanish was adopted over here during that time.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like I said, it's a tool belt. Elian Bay, are you sharing something? What you sharing?
Yeah, you'll see the languages here, right? Sorry if you can't really see the Proto-Indo-European
Oh,
language
let me
right
see.
there.
Let me see. That's crucial. Let me see. Oh, yeah, in the middle.
Right. Then you come over here and it says, you know, tallied, then so forth. Then it goes all the way down to Latin right there, Latin.
Yes.
And so these are the languages right there. So if you get a dictionary, you'll be able to see the languages in here. So you'll get your Baltic, Slav, North Germanic, you know, West Germanic. It tells you that the languages here. So most of them dictionaries will have that, and you look at it and you'll see that English comes from German and so forth. So you'll see how it goes.
Wow.
That's how I see it. And I also take them like to this, you know, when I'm speaking to our relatives, I show them this book as well and how it's first you tell them English is Germanic, so you're not German, you can't be in America. They can't be in America because they're speaking English. Does that make sense? So
Yeah, that
you
makes
start
sense.
tying in everything. And I also like to tell them that the Bibles, if you read it real carefully, it comes from Mesopotamia. So it's not, how's that Roman?
Yeah.
The origins from, you know, Mesopotamia. So it's not theirs. Everything deals with us, not them. But they turn it around. They say that it is. But if you show them, I didn't print this. I just found it, and I'm showing you, sharing it to you. So therefore, you know, you just keep pointing that this is what they did, and that's what they did, and they're showing you, and they're showing you, and they're showing you, and that's how it works. Or for me, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I remember reading also coming across some literature where English was the designated language for conquest because of the variations and definitions of words, right? And it's funny because I ordered this book. It's a homogram, and the homogram, but it gives you all the synonyms of words. You know, they all sound alike, but they all have different meanings. And I always think about these correspondences that used to come to me in the mail, and I never really fully questioned. You know, I had this assumption of what the word meant, but you know, when they're out here using black magic against you, You know, it's really, you need to question everything in its context. Like, you know, any letter that's sent to you, you know, you need to give them the whole definition of all these different variations of what these words can mean, because they can be speaking to you in so many different variations of the English language. That's the reason why English was used as the language to bestow onto the Moors once we were colonized.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, man. And oh, real quick. Oh, Ilian Bay, are you
Yes, sir.
will you be free for the summer solstice event? This is Long Beach.
Yes, just this weekend. Yes, coming up 21st. Yes. Yep.
And
And
you speak Spanish
yes, I
fluently?
do. I do. I do. And
Okay.
is the martial artist in here? Who's the black belt in here?
DL.
Oh,
That's
Black
DL.
Belt.
Okay, cool. I like to get with you because we have a lot of we're gonna have a lot of times. I would like to show you a bunch of things too as well, and
Okay.
some books, and
Okay.
that way. And Mafia, I got a book for you to show you too as well. So okay,
Okay.
so
Great.
we're gonna, yeah, right. But I want to get with you for the all. I will be there.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
I'm excited. I'm excited about it. Waiting for this day this coming day.
Wow. Yeah, well, I know brother DL, he gotta leave by what he said, 11.
Yeah, I got to leave. Yeah, but by 11, I got to talk to my ride for the glamping trip.
Oh,
So if you come
so
earlier, look.
yeah, no, I'll be there. So no,
Okay, you'll
that
be there.
way,
Okay.
yeah, that it's. But I'm going to show you. It's going to be inside of you. It's not nothing outside, and you're going to see it. You're going to see it. All right.
Okay. I did have a question on the Almex.
Okay.
So I know the Almex was the Aboriginals, and I noticed that you mentioned in your book that the first pyramids weren't built in Egypt. They were built in what's that?
Mexico,
South.
They were
Mexico,
built in,
South America, Central America.
Uh-huh. So isn't that before Africa?
right. Yeah, you absolutely right. The largest pyramid complex is in Mexico. It's 400 by 400 meters. That equals up to 4.45 million cubic meters. It's the largest pyramid complex in the world. In fact, it's the oldest. No, the oldest is down in Peru. Peru has the oldest pyramids. However, the largest is in Mexico. And the Olmecs actually, if you look, your body resembles Mu. Mu is also known as Mount Meru. Okay, so Mount
And the
Meru,
Hindu.
you have the navel, right, which is the
Right.
center of your body, right? Okay, and then you have four limbs. Okay, those four limbs represented the four landmasses that were connected with Mu in the center, right? The four limbs you have on your body, you have two arms, you have two legs. That represents the cardinals on the zodiac wheel that moves clockwise. Okay, this is also known as the I forgot the term. But it deals electromagnetic life force. That's what that means. Okay, and this is where life all originated from. This is why the Olmec Moors, or really the Washita Day Dung Damalye Moors nation, is considered the oldest civilization on the planet. They can't deny it. They can't, it's documented. They can't refuse it. This is why having your Moorish pedigree is so important. So important. Just
Yeah.
because of this right here alone.
Yeah, yeah. And the brother asked a question as far as like, isn't this before Africa? Now, when you say that, you have to qualify, and what I mean by you have to qualify Africa etymology. Like the brother Elian Bay just showed you a graph. When you look up in any, especially in the ancient dictionary, a word is going to take you to the what it meant in the ancient language or when the word came out. So Africa is going to take you to the Latin, back to Terra. Back when I said Tamaray, it's the same thing with Africa.
Summary.
Africa
Okay.
is going to take you back to Terra in Latin. Terra just means land.
Right.
Now,
In your land. In your land. So that's why they
So-
terrorize you. Sorry.
yeah, right. So the whole world is Africa, but as far as the old part of Africa would be what they call Northwest Africa, is where the Olmecs, the first civilizations of organized government started. As far as human beings starting government
Okay.
structure, is on the
Yeah.
old this part of Africa, which was today is called North America, Mexico, Central America, South America, Haiti, Jamaica, all the adjoining islands. That is loosely referred to as Northwest Africa, especially in any books referencing like the old dynasties of the pharaohs in Egypt or the anything ancient Egypt or ancient Sumerian or ancient Carthaginian. They're talking about over here in the Americas. Oh, ancient Egypt, Americas. Mount Sinai in the Bible, Temple of the Moon, pyramids and temple complexes in the Americas, right?
Wow.
Now, after World War II, now you got Egypt, Kingdom of Morocco, Israel, the Middle East.
Right.
And what's
Right.
I know, what is the Middle East? Is that even a concept?
Well, actually, the Middle East and East Africa
That's Asia, ain't it?
combined. Yeah, no. Well, actually, in ancient times, it was known as Arabia, and the people there were known as Afro-Arabian. Okay, and that's where that whole history started. But it's also traced that the Egyptians migrated from the Yucatan of Mexico. Now you have to remember the land masses were all joined together at one time, and that
Right.
they actually migrated from the Yucatan of Mexico, where the Olmecs, where they were first situated. Okay, that's documented. There's an archaeologist. His name was William Niven. William Niven, that's Niven. William Niven. On an expedition in the Valley of Mexico, he came across the tablets, the Mu tablets, and these Mu tablets are dated over 50,000 years ago old, something to that extent. So there's documented, verified documentation of the Olmec Moors being here first, and there's no way that the Egyptians can outdate this.
But hold on, but that's why I say qualify, because you just said the Egyptians. What
Right.
that they loosely call, like, remember the pyramid builders of Mexico City, South America, Peru have pharaohs. The Olmec
Right.
were Olmecs and our Queen Khalifa or any type of elected officials was loosely referred to as pharaohs in these lands, and they govern, right? So when we saying Egyptian, that's a nickname. Remember, it's Tamaray, the
That's
land
right.
of Moors. That's
That's
more
right.
proper. So whoever is adopting that, and that's why it's imperative that we know these concepts, is because see how I just explained it? That was simple, right? Right. And these are tags. It's like black, Negro, color. We're not Egyptians. We're not Native Americans. Oh, Empress New, peace and love. So yeah, so once again, that's what this is about. We have simple meetings. It's the dojo. It's where we get sharp. So when we doing our missionary work, we are able to talk with sense and logic, and we have something to compare to. We're not just a black religious group. We're not just, this is not the NAACP. This is, we're talking about, it's not the Nation of Islam. It's not, you're gonna, no, because the reason I said it like that is because people that don't know this space and they see you in a fez or turban, highly melanated at that, they're gonna say, oh, you're part of the Nation of Islam, or you're Sunni. So you have to eloquently let them know, no, I have a nationality. I'm the Moor. Oh, what's your religion? What's this?
That's the
That now you can go into that. You can go into
you
that.
can let them know.
But always just stay humble, brother. Brother Carlton, you got something?
I gotta say that's how you got me, brother. This your etiquette. You've been able to, speak the way you do. I know that you studied, what I mean, to the degree of what words mean. What I'm saying? You're not just saying words out there like a normal Muslim would do. What I mean? One that don't even know what the term means. I mean, when I recognized that you knew how to speak, you know what I mean? I'm not, yeah, that's what draw me in. That's the way I study, and as I studied and, you know, um, got up on what you were saying, it all made perfect sense. They're the same tools I use, and blessings, give the man the tools, show him how to use it. I mean, hey, there it is.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful,
Uh,
man. Islam, that's what it's about, man. Just we all sharpen each other up.
Let
And
me ask you a question there, Carlton. Did you receive any literature when he was, or when you were opening your mind, or was it just pure words? Mafi, were you telling him with pure words, or just you provide books to Carlton?
oh, it was an orientation session I did with the brother, and I was
So it
showing
was
him like
just
facts. It was factual things I was showing him as I was talking to him.
okay. So you were okay. So you were applying both. I thought he was saying it was just your words that made him, aware of this.
Well, for me, that's all it took was because I'm definitely, I'm woke, so that's all it took was him to be able to speak in the same language that I speak.
Okay.
And it's like talking to your brother. He's a distant brother. That's all. He's a brother on the same frequency.
Right, but like when we go to somebody who's new at this or who's coming into it, right?
Yeah.
Either when you tell them by your words, they want to contradict you or they want to battle you because of their belief. But when you show them with the book, you're tying it in, to truth because it was already printed and it's not from you, it's from the books. So that's what I was getting at. If you read books or he was showing you books at the time.
Yeah.
That's what
Hey,
I mean.
Mark.
I was.
Yeah. So basically, he took what I said and tried to attempted to prove me wrong, right?
Right.
He did some
But
research and he came back to me and was like, you're right, man.
Well, it wasn't an attempt to prove you wrong. Remember, I told you at a
No, I was just playing. No, not
oh,
literally. That wasn't literally.
bless.
No,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
Roger. But just to clarify, for him, most of it. Remember I told you, 5 years ago, so I was introduced to it, and I was definitely thinking about going that route. But speaking with a brother and him not being able to speak, let's say, as you do, what I'm saying, and really give it to in a degree of what it is, it kind of deterred me, because I could say what I say to you, and you chime back hand in hand. We talking, hand in hand through lineage, through history, through the books, where I would be talking to someone else, and it would become a combatant. I was able to
right.
say to you off rip, brother, this is where I'm at, this is where I feel, and you was able to go right along with me with that. And okay, brother, this is what it is, and all I was able to do was bless it. Let me go. Yeah, man, and come back, brother. That was confirmed action.
Right.
We there.
So
yeah, so I did it.
he connected the
I love
dots
it.
for you. That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Hey, hey,
Good job
hey,
there,
Ma-
Mafi. Good job.
hey, Mafi. Hey, I wanted to ask you. Did you mention earlier that you're gonna be bringing books out there?
No, I would.
Summer solstice.
Yeah, to summer solstice.
I would bring some books.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, because I was gonna bring the 1828 Noah Webster dictionary of the English language. That right there that's the eye opener because you got to jump them in the time machine and show them what these words mean.
Right.
What the word black mean, what is real money, what more mean. All that is in that dictionary from 1828, and it's a totally different definition. Defined the words are defined totally different today versus what they were then. So you could definitely see how they watered it down, and it'll open people's eyes. Like, bam, like whoa.
Yeah, bring it. Bring that.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that. I got joints over here. You want, man? I got joints, man. I'm sitting over
Yeah.
here going through them now.
Hey, and you know the situation, the climate. So just have some stuff queued up that you can reference. It's going to be El Salvadorian community. It's going to be some Mexicans. It's going to be some Filipino. Quote unquote, our Moro brothers. So anybody that's coming, like I say, queue some stuff up that can appeal to our brothers, right? Historically, whether it be the coat of arms of Central America, El Salvador, whether it be Moro land. That's a book. You know what I mean? Yeah, we try to do. Yeah, we're gonna try to do a simultaneous live while we're doing that too. New Empress New. Glad you brought that up too. That's actually a great idea. Yeah, we want to appeal, like, Moro land, like our Filipino brothers. I know the before King Philip, how they was Moros and Sultan of Sulu, and how it connected to the Moroccan Empire, and like you already know the Olmecs, Moors. That's the Mexicans' ancestors. Everybody, they got feathers on. We're gonna have feathers on at the event. It's gonna be an easy tie to let them know like what the fez mean and how this is their culture, how they need to know it, how we need to unite. You know what I mean? So just that's the mind frame for summer solstice, and it's a celebration. We bring it in, bring it in the gate. Cosmologically, we're in harmony, and we're celebrating the summer solstice as well as waking our people up. Um, I'm gonna have You're gonna have music, like I said, lentil soup. Oh, everybody bring their own chair, like last time. Um, we're gonna have about 3 tables. So if anybody want to bring another table, you can bring it. But I think 3 tables would be fine. And like I said, we're gonna have events for the children, children friendly. We're gonna have events for the adults. So we're gonna stay out of chest. We're gonna stuff like that. And yeah, the water balloon toss for the children.
Scavenger.
Everybody invite their friends and family out.
Icebreaker.
Yeah. So any other statements, comments in this space before we kind of continue through this Q&A right here?
Peace. I was just gonna say that it's just so dope what y'all doing, and gratitude to you, Mafi, for always being active. And anytime people are like trying to speak negative on the Moors, like, oh, the Moors and do this, the Moors, I always be like, well, Califia Society out in Cali, they doing their thing. So, you know what I'm saying? I always just let people know, like, you can't generalize just because, from your own perspective or your experience with certain Moors, like, you can't generalize all Moors because it's many, many Moors that are acting, active and doing such positive things in the community. And, I just want to salute y'all because y'all are for sure a wonderful representation of Moors coming together.
I appreciate that, Empress. That's beautiful, beautiful words, and that's why we do it. That's why we do it and try to stay consistent because people gonna take note. And we'll continue to grow as the months and years go. Different Moors, you're gonna hear about the great work that we're gonna continue to do, and we're gonna be a magnet. We'll start building community. So I appreciate that, New L, and I hope you and the Moor out there is doing well in y'all endeavors.
Yeah. Yes, we're doing so well. We got the land and we started the farm, More Acres Farm. So yeah, we'll be posting a lot of content and stuff soon, but we planted hundreds of fruit trees, nut trees, we got the herbs, the berry bushes, the grape, the grapevines, the orchards. So yeah, soon, like, we really hope to be able to distribute, things out to other Moors and stuff and create
Wow.
network. Yeah, so
That's what's up.
it's
Man, Islam to that, man.
fun.
Yeah, I see you've been doing the pop-ups out there more frequently, generating.
Oh yes. Oh my goodness. At least 3 pop-ups a week. This week coming, we got 5 pop-ups. So we're staying active, staying busy, representing, being industrious, and the herbs that we use in our products and infuse in our oils and butters, we grow all those herbs, so
Okay.
Is there
it's just
anywhere I can
really
order?
cool.
Can I order
Sorry?
online? I'm willing to support. Is there any way I can order online? Anything like that?
Oh yes, absolutely. So the website is yamayanaturals.com.
Oh,
Put it in the chat.
Can you type
Put it in
that?
the
yeah,
chat.
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay,
Drop it
yes.
in the chat.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
'cause I can
Thank you. That way
screenshot
there's
it.
no confusion. It's right
Oh
there for
yes.
us. Thank you so
And
much.
then there's also a code for the Moors. So I'm gonna put the code.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah. So gratitude in advance for any support because we really, really appreciate it. And we got some soaps coming too, some more soaps. So yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
industrious.
Oh,
Right.
And
yeah.
that's what it's about, man. I'm trying to have everybody with that type of mind frame, even if they got jobs, just create something on the side to take off, market it market it to the wheels fall off,
Absolutely.
and buy into it. You know, it's gonna take off. You know,
Absolutely. Islam.
and everybody got to support it. The whole Moorish community got to support it. Individually, we all got friends and family that we can support. You know, and market these Moorish businesses. You know, so
Cycle the money.
cycle it. You know, national
Yes, because I
standard.
see you with the Moroccan lentil soup. I was like, okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, yeah, we dropped that. We dropped that like 3 weeks ago. We've been selling out every time except one time, and
That is
yesterday.
so dope.
Yeah,
Love it. Love it.
yeah. That's what it's about. Just having thoughts and and just doing it. I never thought I'd be into food. Like that was just literally 2 months ago. I was like, you know what? Let's drop let's drop the lentil soup. It's popping. It's popping,
And
man.
y'all be doing the soups at the gym or just like at other ones?
We be inside the gym. They be working out, smelling it.
Oh
Soon as I
my
come out.
God.
Yeah, oh,
We
That's
get free
funny.
samples.
oh, and 9L, she passed out the samples. So on the way in, they was like, oh yeah.
Right.
They might even been on the fence, like, nah, I'm cool. Taste the sample. I taste it. Come back, they bought 2 balls. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Yes. So dope. Oh God, that's amazing.
yeah. But yeah,
Hungry
yeah.
man.
All right. So let's continue you got a DA, you want to continue with remember you was left where you left off?
Yeah,
17.
number 17.
Oh, you completed it, right? So we on 18.
Completed 17, yeah.
All right.
Why do these specific Africans called Zulus, Dogons, Comedians, Egyptians claim Africa is their throne, but claim to come from space like Mars and Sirius A and B? Oh, that's a good question. Let me see what they're going to say. The ancient natural peoples of Amexem, inclusive of Kamat, etc., are all of one family expanded. Travel in the extraterrestrial planetary system is not new to Moors, nor is space travel a modern technological discipline. It is an ancient among ancients. We are all the owners and establishers of civilization on the earth, storehouse of the solar system. Much of our knowledge and history was lost, but we were not always only on the earth. Wow. Who built all the pyramids all over Earth? Our ancient mothers and fathers built the pyramids all over the planet Earth. Some of the pyramids in Central America are older than the pyramids in Kamat. Pyramid University, located in Yucatan, Mexico, is over 24,000 years old, as an example. Why all civilizations are based off of Kemet, Egypt? Most of our modern or contemporary civilizations are based more or less upon ancient Sumer, Babylonia, Kemet, miscalled Egypt, is modern and also derivative of ancient Sumer, Babylonia, cosmology, culture. Who are the Egyptians, Atlanteans, Lemurians, and what do they all have to do with civilizations today? We are one and the same natural planet peoples. Oh, excuse me. We are one and the same natural peoples, having expanded upon the face of the planet Earth. The variations of names have more to do with social, political jurisdictions involving geographical movements and locations, which were and are given names. What is a Negro? Colored man and woman. The names are brands and tags coined for ignominious social status in society. They are political caste designations and not national identities. Negro is an anthropod. 8, colored is a legal term meaning artifice, fake, covered up, and artificially in fraud. Is Latino a race, and why do Latinos think they are not a black or white? people, or they are brown people or Spanish, but not Africans or Moors. Latin is not a race, but is a language originally Moorish Latin. Black and white in sociology are caste terms. The Aboriginal and mixed Moors of Central America, South America, and the adjoining islands were subjected to Nam de Guerre, war
Nam
strategies,
de
mental. What's that?
Nam de Gear.
Nam de Guerre, war strategies and mental association by the European conquistadors, just as the Aboriginal Moors of the North were branded black, Negro, and colored in the year 1511. Philip II, Emperor of Rome, declared all that is Moorish shall be claimed by the church. Thus, the language Moor Latin became falsely known as Spanish. Truth be
Boom.
told,
Boom. Right? That part right there. That's what everybody needs to eloquently get across to our brothers that are classified as being part of Latin America. That information is big, right? So I won't say too much of it, but yeah, I just want to highlight that.
right? Okay. Truth be told, there's no such thing as Spanish being a language. This documented Roman Catholic Church edict bull of 1511 is also why many of the American Almaracan descendants of Moors, mixed and others, were falsely called Spanish. This non-de jure practice is an act of conquest, not of pedigree truth. We're all human slaves to other humans sometime in history. The word slave is a modern in origin, having no ancient history on the planet. It is derived from the word Slavian and Slavic. This refers to European members of Serbo-Croatian group of Slavonic peoples. However, contemporary sociologists have layered the sociologists have layered the NATO identity word with social, political, connotative meanings. The contemporary word slave, has been placed retroactively in history and assigned to those held to forced servitude. Yet it must be noted that the word is not an ancient.
So everybody here clear on Slav
Mm-hmm.
and its origin?
Yeah, everyone should have that. Yeah, that's what I was
Clear.
saying. Yeah, I was telling Morris, man,
Wow, for sure.
if the word slave is derived from Slav, and if you did a DNA test, it's an impossibility for you to come back positive as a Slav. Impossibility.
Or a slave.
Or a slave, right. It's an impossibility. Can't be one.
All right, you got it at 25, Brother Dia.
Who are the real Europeans and where did they come from? Europeans and Paleolithic modern man hybrids are androids. Their origin is heterogeneous manifest of the triglodyte niger. Anthropod crossbreed with the human species. This perfected biological experimentation manifests as the Paleolithic man, paleface or Neanderthal. Who first started religion and why is it needed today? The ancient Moabites founded the world's first religion. The true etymological meaning of religion is a study of the stars and workings of nature. The masses of the world, miseducated by European conquistadors, do not know of the original meaning of religion. Selfish and wicked rulers and high priests have traditionally surpassed the truth in order to amass wealth, political power, and to subdue and conquer the world. These truths about religion are held secret and taught in secret societies of North America and the world. The power of knowledge has been preserved for the elite caste, industrialists, and rulers of government. Another term for this religious knowledge and anthropological secrecy is called masonry.
All right, so let's marinate on that. Let's have a discussion on religion. If somebody were to ask you, oh, I feel what you're saying about the whole Moorish and the culture. I'm feeling that. But what's the Moorish religion though? How would y'all respond?
But first of all, it's not a religion. I tell them it's a study of the stars.
Yeah, I would begin there.
Or you're following the nature of the stars, because like the three wise men, they followed the three stars. Does that make sense?
Or it's the study of astrologics.
Right.
Astrology, astrologics, cosmology.
And correspondence too. I would say that as well.
That realign yourself with the stars.
I would say we all coexist.
So if somebody asks you, oh, what's your religion? That's how you would respond? We all
No, I
coexist?
would say that though. Nah.
I would be like, I
It's
study
more-
the stars and the workings of nature. I would say that's my religion. Religion of truth.
I would
I just
say
thought-
I would reference the CM Bay Clock of Destiny. You know, the study of astrological, the science of the zodiacs, the 12 zodiacs, and a lot as they're hitting as where we're missing out on, because the zodiacs, you know, they rule, you know, the houses, the cardinals and so forth. They rule everything basically.
I would say, is it Jews? A Jew?
Islamism.
Islamism, that's how you respond?
Yeah. Like, in one whole shebang, you know, what's your religion? Islamism, and then probably trickle down. But, you know, once I was Noble Ali, one-on-one, what is your religion? Islamism. Islam is peace, and Islam would be the suffix, right? To make it sound phonetically correct. You know, etymology peace. So religion is peace, and we realign ourselves with astrology to remain peaceful. You know what I mean? It's not saying this is the end all be all, but that would be my response. Like my religion is Islam. Well, Islam is peace. Well, how do you find peace of the astrology or the zodiac?
I would
realign.
I would lead with religion. First of all, you know, through etymology, and then I would, you know, my thing is, as I understand it, you know, what they did with the mass, they gave the mass religion in the terms of how we talk today. You know, Hebrew Israelite, you know, etc. You know, where true religion is the study of the stars. You know, study of yourself,
and also,
as in where we are. So I would definitely blessings.
Yeah, also I'll probably hit on, after explaining that, also hit on how religion has been used dogmatically to enslave people. Has been used to manipulate and direct people in ways, you know, manipulation and so forth, and propaganda and everything else. You know, how religion has been used in a very dogmatic way. So
if I was to chime in as a guest right now and overhear the last 20 minutes of our dialogue, I would come to the conclusion, if I didn't know nothing, I was a blank canvas based on what everybody's saying. Religion is the science of knowing the workings of the stars, how it relates to human beings, conduct on the earth, their impulses, etc. And then the science of the stars has been corrupted today to be dogma, right? That's what I get from it.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
That's it.
See. Yes.
I
Okay.
concur. I agree.
All right. So we all on the same page. All right.
So religion's like the study of self, right?
Study yourself.
Right.
Understanding
You
yourself.
are the universe.
Your
Right.
own.
You're the universe.
you
Yeah.
are, you are.
You are the
You are-
universe. So
You
why not
are
study
the
yourself?
exactly.
mini version.
I
Like
am.
scaled
I
down.
am. I am.
I
Right. And
am.
mother is a great architect, so therefore she brings everybody into the soul plane.
Oh
So
yeah,
you have to study mother as well.
yeah. But then those are like foundational principles of like the things that all the forces that create man and woman and that birth children into the world as well.
That don't. That's why I love that symbol.
And then the last piece of this paragraph, we see how the study of the stars is preserved through the Masonic Lodge. That's what it says.
Mhm.
So the true origin of what religion is preserved in construction of buildings and signs and symbols, but the actions or the rabbis, the heads of the religious institutions aren't talking
Understand.
about the stars no more. But the signs and symbols of the building that they're talking about, it talks about the stars, but they're not talking about the stars no more, right? Like that's safe to say?
Right. It's like the Bible is the measurement from the sun outward, and chronology, Quran, is a study of time and measurement as well. There's Helios, Biblios, and Quran, chronology, Chronos,
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
the
time.
ancient God. Yeah,
And
Father Time, Chronos. So
Huge.
yeah. And also us Quran and like they say Spanish, talking about the heart.
yep,
So you're dealing with
Quran, corazón.
right, working on the purity of your heart as well as you navigate, right?
Yeah.
That makes right. Okay. So yeah, you know. So yeah, this the dojo, man. We sharpening our tools on concepts, so we be great ambassadors when we step out the dojo in the temple.
For sure.
Great ambassadors for the nation state, man. Competent, genius citizens, like the prophet say, right? We genius citizens around here, man. All right, so it's 27, man. You got it, brother Dia.
27. What is the oldest religious so-called holy book on this planet? And is it the Holy Bible, the glorious Quran, Vedas, the book coming forth by day, or some older religious book? It must be understood that so-called religious holy books are all coded astrology texts. There are, for the most part, mathematical calculations, human evolution, chronology, and prophecy. Among the books mentioned in this question, book coming forth by day is derived from even older Sumerian culture and texts. The Vedas are next, displaying more openly the philosophical and astrological culture of the ancient ones. Much of the manifested during the Mauryan dynasty in ancient Hindustan and Sumeria, Babylonia, yet all of these holy books have a symbiotic relationship. The word holy is derived from the ancient Sanskrit word halik, meaning he burns, the sun, and the whole of holistic or holistic.
Let's marinate on this. Let's marinate. We got lots of marinate on. So we got the word holistic, which is thrown around a lot today. Right. The whole everybody's consciously getting more with the vegan and holistic lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
So holistic derives from the sun, holy derives from the sun. All right. That's that. And I want to highlight, because we can't skip over to back to the history part, Mauryan dynasty. When we're speaking with our brothers from the East, I don't care if it's Pakistan, what they call India today, that's all was under the Moors, and we have sultans over there. That was called the Mauryan dynasty at that time. So that's how we can appeal to our brothers in that area too. And they'll know it. Especially you got your Feds terminal, you talking like that, they're gonna be like, they're gonna salute you, like, oh yeah, you're right, brother. And let them know about the organization. Let's unite. Oh, I didn't know this exists. I didn't know it was brothers out here that was on this type of time. Right.
I have some friends who are of that origin. So technically they're Hindustan, right? Because we were having a discussion. They were telling me that they were originally Hindu, so it matched.
Yeah.
I made that connection with them on like a personal level. So if I was to introduce, more science to them, I could go about it by, letting them know historically, like the Mauryan dynasty, had elements of, our similarities.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's what it's about.
Okay.
That was
Yeah, yeah. Indian is a socially engineered misnomer, and
He
you're
was
right
telling me
that
that too.
the
Yeah.
land, yeah, the land is called Hindustan or Mat. It's called Hindustan or I forgot the other term. Hindustan, definitely. The language Hindustani. That's what they speak. They don't speak Indian.
Right.
and then some of them, once you just let them know, like, brother, don't call yourself Indian. You know the British, that's a British tag. Oh, I know, brother. Right? They know that.
Yeah, and
And
we
you
had
know,
another discussion about that because we were talking about the British Museum and their artifacts, and we were talking on that level because we're talking about like geological structures and some of them being located in, Hindustan. So yeah, I'm gonna see what my Indian brothers is on, see if they, we could connect on that level.
yeah.
Uh, ex expose them to the Christian Black Codes, Article 50.
Oh, that's an excellent resource.
Could you
Mhm.
think that for me? Or let me outright it.
Yes, it's the Christian Black Codes of 1724, Article 50 states where any kind of emancipation, the freeze of the slaves will not happen, period, but will be transferred to the Indian company. There you go. That's why you call it Indian, because you're going for the Indian company, now your property. That's
And
just, we're just connecting the dots of what they're saying and why they want you to do certain things for themselves to
the
benefit
full
them.
and the full name of that company is called the British East India Company. That's the full name of it.
Right.
Right. And that's where
You're
the
looking
West
it up?
Indians
Yeah.
come from.
Huh?
That's where the term West Indians came from.
Right.
Yeah. So this is how we got to talk to our people with, sophistication, scholarship, and intelligence. We're not trying to convert people to join a religion or none of that type of stuff.
Right.
We want them to be competent nationals and heirs on their own land. That's all. And unite with others, like every other nationality people do around us. Everybody else working together. Why not us? Why
Yeah.
not us? Oh, Brother D, I think you left off on 29.
I think it's up one more, isn't it?
It was up one more. Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
29.
What are UFOs and are they from? No, there it is, 28. What are extraterrestrials, aliens, space creatures, and what do they have to do with human beings? Much that is considered extraterrestrial is actually not. All phenomena and advanced things are just not exposed to the masses nor admitted to by Inquisition. Rulers, space travel is
Got it.
ancient. Space travel is ancient, and interfacing with beings from other planets is also ancient to Moabites. We have never been alone nor static in this solar system, nor in this galaxy.
And real quick, that's just I always give the example about Area 51. These are areas that the CIA, FBI classify as it might be a spaceship or something like that. They pass it off. The masses buy into that. When it's just something that shows somebody like me and you being a pharaoh or being a sultan here in these lands or something Moorish, and it conflicts with they teach in school about we got shipped here or something like that. That'll be an example of what they try to cover up. It don't be nothing, you know, Will Smith, Independence Day, and all these aliens come flying saucers and all that type of stuff. That's not what's in Area 51.
Yeah.
It's just simple stuff. Taj Mahal style buildings that show that the Moors had Taj Mahal style buildings and it wasn't just tents and teepees over here for the Native Americans, right? That's Area 51, right? So I want to throw that in there. That's where my mind went when I just during this Q&A. Where you live off 29?
29. What are UFOs and are they from space or sub-Saharan worlds within our Earth? UFO means unidentified flying object. This simply implies that officials are not admitted to the public. The truth was what is known of these interstellar craft and Devonia. These crafts and Devonia are from the subterranean realms and from other planets and galaxies.
It's unfunded objects.
What is it, UAPs?
No, no UFOs. It's they're not funded, so they're unfunded objects.
Ah,
Why do all Aboriginals, indigenous people, all have stories in their history dealing with beings from other worlds?
So reference question 28 and 29. So we went over that. Oh, you got a total for this? Okay. All right, so Mika, where did you where we at? 31? Okay.
Who is George Washington and was he the first president of the United States? Answer: George Washington was an Englishman and was appointed as the 9th president for the United States Republic of North America in the year 1789.
Also wanted to add on that George Washington that they talk about as being the 9th president, he was actually a Freemason. His real name was Adam Weisenhoff. They assassinated the real George Washington and replaced him with the one that you commonly known in the history books. So the first 8 presidents of the United States of America were Moors.
correct.
And he was the first European. But remember, they assassinated the real George Washington and replaced him with Adam Weisenhoff. They replaced him with him and called him George Washington. Exactly. And called him George Washington.
Yep.
And that's when they took over the seats, the control and seats of government.
Yep.
That's when they seized control.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Good info to know, when because everybody want to know about the historical account. How do we get to the condition we in today? People just want to know that.
That's a key part, though, that they were essentially Freemason, especially George Washington, and then the rest of the presidents going forward. And then you can look at the symbology and all of the historical references. Like even I was talking to my friend, I was like, look at New York. I was like, there's an obelisk in the middle of what is that building? Where they have Abraham Lincoln. I'm like, where is that in American culture? Is an obelisk in the last 250 years? And they're like, whoa, yeah. Because you start to see there's clues everywhere if you look and you point them to, someone who's looking.
Right. Where we at? 32?
32. Who is John Hanson and was he the first president of the United States? John Hanson was elected the first president for the United States Republic of North America in the year 1781. Who was John Hanson? A Moor? Was John Hanson a Moor? Many have said that John Hanson was a thorough-blood Moor, Moabite Moor. Others have said that he was an amalgamated Moor, European Albion.
Albion.
So does Albion, is that part of albino?
The root, yeah. They both on the same root. So we're talking about, albino with reference like pale, but we're really talking about recessive, right? In the original albino, like I said, all the melanin was in the eyes and the hair, right? So we got blue eye, blonde hair will be the original pure albion, right? And then of course we start mixing with the stock of people's women, or basically our harem. The Moors start mixing with the harem, basically, to summarize. And now we got different shades of different nationalities of people. That's why by nationality, it go from dark to light. It's Mexicans darker than me, and there's Mexicans lighter than a modern day British person or whatever, right? Middle Eastern, everybody, right? Middle Eastern, they got pale, they got dark. by Germany, you got pale, you got dark. Saint Maurice was dark, right? So the original Germans is right. So everywhere in the world, and when we say amalgamated, we're just saying Moors that mix with the Albions, which created different, I guess, sub nations, etc. But they're all Moors, but it's just sub nations of Moors, right? If that makes sense, that pretty clear. No?
Yes, it makes sense. Yeah. What does the Iroquois Constitution have to do with the United States Constitution? Keep in mind that the Iroquois comprises Iroquois comprises a confederation body politic of Moorish tribes of the Northwest Territories, comprised of the noble titles Ali, Bey, El, Dey, and Al. Of the noble Moors, Iroquois is not a single aboriginal tribe and means the real elders. Concerning the derivative contemporary union, the Articles of Association, the Articles of Confederation, the Declaration of Independence, and the Constitution of the United States Republic of North America, 1789. Has it origin from ancient Moorish constitution principles and derived from the law of the Great Peace. This social political history and law connection is also why the ancient Great Seal Pyramid is displayed upon the back of the dollar bill. The Great Seal Pyramid is the insignia of the Moorish nation, the Moroccan Empire, and many of the long houses of Iroquois. The Europeans were taught masonry, which is scientific moral government.
Now, everybody clear on this before we move on, as far as we had different clans of our people already here that basically united and formed a confederation. They'll call it the Iroquois Confederation. This confederation assisted the Pilgrims in formating organizational structure amongst themselves once they detached from their higher ups and they were no longer looked at as English subjects, British subjects. They separated. We gave them government structure, and then when you parallel this to the Sultan of George Washington, to the Sultan of Morocco, they're given a copy of what would be the Constitution for our Sultan's approval, which is cross-referencing to show who was superior and who was inferior as far as international law is concerned, right? As it pertains to the Americas. So I wanted to share that. Now, everybody kind of clearing that space, how you would talk about that?
Right. And also there is congressional records on that too. If you go to SCOMRes 76, you can Google this. SCOMRes 76. And you can just read the first 3 to 4 pages. This is a congressional record. It's a senator, it's a couple of senators that were involved with this. It was a celebration commemorating the Iroquois Confederation, basically giving the United States their constitution, where the Constitution originated from. It's confirmation, verification. Yeah, it's called SCOMRes 76.
Okay. Yeah. More cross-referencing. And that's how we want to speak. And cross-reference, like I said, I like to cross-reference that space with George Washington's letter to the Sultan of Morocco, because in that piece is, once again, he's talking about, here's a copy of the Constitution for your approval before it got ratified and we allowed the Constitution, right? The Constitution, right? The 10 Bill of Rights, right? That most people know about, they had to run it by our Sultan, that contract. So that all tells a story. If you can competently share that to our people in the true American, let them know this information, it's something to unite behind. And also masonry, as you can see, the concept of masonry as a scientific moral government, not Masonic Lodge. And we also know that it's a compound word dealing with mother, son, all sons coming through the womb. And we want the sons to be operating on natural law while we having this physical experience for harmony and peace, right? Which they call Islam. Simple, right? Any other thoughts on that before we continue to 35? I guess you got a DL, number 35.
Okay, number 35. What is the oldest language on earth? The oldest language known on earth is classical Sanskrit, Samskrita, which fostered the modern science of descriptive linguistics or etymology. The multiple Parakat dialects are found prevalent in the ancient Mauryan dynasty of Old Perak, Hindustan, including many geographical areas having Sumerian influence. These ancient natural peoples are Moors.
All right, and the Sumerians is another thing you could bring up for that whole Middle Eastern, people saying they Middle Eastern. Between the Mauryan dynasty and mentioning the Sumerians, you cover that whole area of how you can eloquently explain how they, yeah, they Moors. All they deities that's in stone, they got scruffy beards like Isaac Hayes and fez and turban, the Sumerians.
Yeah, they do.
Right?
But not. You know why it's called why they say it's in the Middle East?
Why is that?
Because when they were going from their homeland, whatever, where we put them at, and they were going to Asia on the Silk Road, right? That's the whole journey is they were in the middle of the East journey.
Okay.
That's what they call it, the Middle East. It was their journey. It wasn't ours. It was just in the middle of their. So,
wow.
Because there's no middle south, middle west, middle north.
Right.
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 Oh yeah, right. Wow.
And also
something so simple slip, you know.
Yeah, and also it sits
The
right there in the
socialization.
center of the Ottoman Empire as well. If you look at the map geographically, Turkey is right there. So they were within the Ottoman Empire as well. We all know the Turks were Moors as well.
Right.
Yep. All right, let's go. Continue here. Let's see. 36.
36. Why was so-called white people slaves first to black people? And when they came fought for their freedom,
No. Was you said
Oh.
why? Was so-called.
Excuse me. Was so-called white people slaves first to black people? And when they came fought for their freedom, did white people turn around and make slaves of all the so-called black people or all people and erase most of their story and history? The hybrid offsprings or children of Jacobim, referred to modernly as Jacob, are Paleolithic man, Europeans. They were later called the children of Israel because
No. Yaqub.
Children of Yaqub. Okay. Because Yaqub's name was changed to Israel by Morlu Akin El, the last high priest scientist of the Moabite nation, ancient Central Africa, Central America, the hybrid android, Central of Israel, were decreed to be slaves of Babylonia, Moroccan Empire for 360 years, 360 from 836 AM to 1196 AM, and absent of Ensonium rights. Isonomy by Hammurabi
Bey. Yep.
Hammurabi Bey, first sultan of the Moorish nation, Moroccan Empire of ancient Central Africa, Central America, and this is the true historical basis of the Karamic breach that is the origin of root of the soul of the hostile so-called race caste politics of the modern day world. These chronologies dates correspond to 1416 and 1776 CCY. Therefore, it is without doubt with the Moors must be told the truth of the Masonic history of themselves.
Okay, so it was a couple of things that we need to marinate on in this paragraph, just so we make sure we're grasping some concepts. So one, Yaqub is Jacob in the Bible. The story of Jacob, remember, is no J. So, but they're going to say Jacob, just like they're going to say Jesus. We know it's Yahshua. So it's really Yaqub. It's not Jacob. That's one thing I want to highlight when we're talking about the story of the creation of mankind, or the creation of what most people call white people today. All right, that's one thing I want to highlight. What else? Oh, when they're saying the children of Israel right here, that was what Yaqub's full name was. Like I think his name was Yaqub Cushitis Israel. All right, so the children of Yaqub are mankind, the children, right? The mankind stock or the Albion, those are the children of Israel. It's not in the sense of the the promised, the chosen people in that kind, we are the chosen people if we act right, but it's not like that. Literally, the children of Israel are the hybrid experience that were created in Argentina, Central America. It was too hot over here, so we had to exile them to a colder part of the planet under the jurisdiction of Queen Europa. That's why we called them Europeans, right? But they have no origin to anywhere on the planet, so they were, right? So just want to highlight that. Any thoughts on this section or anything that anybody else wanted to highlight or reference or discuss?
Yeah, I have a lot, but not
Yeah,
like
me
on
too, but I
this
don't know
chat.
how to break it down, because children of Israel references like what is it? I would say the modern day Jews call themselves the children of Israel. And if do you do your research, they fight very hard for their empire. And
Oh, the one that's over in
after World War II, when they drew their lines.
Dang, where they at right now? They're over there beefing right now.
Yeah, right now with
Israel and
the
Palestine.
Palestinian state.
Yeah, right. So that I'm glad you brought that up, because that's what you're gonna, when we start talking about this space, you're gonna get questions like this. So we got Israel mentioned in the Bible. We got Israel mentioned today as a corporate state that's colonizing the people over there from Palestine, right? And then we got the context of the children of Israel. These are three different contexts.
Yeah, and three different levels too. To like,
yeah,
they're like, oh yeah, English is tough. English, I see. Because it's
right.
a.
So like,
Go ahead. My bad.
so like in the Bible, it tells you, they said that Jacob, Yaqub, he wrestled with the angel, and this is why I love the etymology. The Hebrew word for angel means messenger, and we understand a messenger can come in any form, physical man, whatever you paying attention to. That's considered, as we knew, an angel. You know, but then that right there said that the Bible is referring to the hybrids, the androids, as the children of Yaqub. So yeah, I'm honestly, there's a lot of confusion right there for someone like myself. That would be something I had to sit down and marinate on and allow the spirit to do what it do, for me to actually get complete understanding there.
Yeah. And just keep in mind, it's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of levels to these holy books.
And
After
indubitably,
after the Nicene Council,
yes,
you just have to be well studied. That's why we used to always say history and law
cross
go together.
reference.
Yeah, you
There's a
gotta,
lot of cross
because
referencing, books. That's why I say, allow the
yeah,
spirit to do. Once I get into it, because that's plenty of information right there to take and go. Go eat on, and
yeah,
Yeah,
allow
yeah,
and
this right here.
see what's going, regurgitate up out once that time,
yeah,
come.
yeah, man.
My mind is on this. Like it got a nice,
Clips.
marination.
Right? Because other people will say Israel in the context of Isis Rael. Are we talking about the moon, sun, and navigation, right? Or the children of the moon and the sun navigating on the planet? There's a lot
Exactly.
of, right? So you just have to be on your head on the swivel, so you know context.
Hmm.
You know, that's
So
all
you,
really.
my bad. It's more of having the appropriate, having tact and having the appropriate, looking at the appropriate context, you know, to slowly, bring them to their own proper conclusion. Because if you look at it and you come at the wrong way, it's very easy to get lost in translation.
Right.
And
But
I
I
think the meta
guess. Oh yeah, go ahead, brother. Yeah, you got it.
I
You
was
got
in
it.
the metaphysical Bible. I want to say it says the followers of Christ. But we know like Christ, it's like the chemicals made in your head, the crest, like KRS, So on a metaphysical tip or anatomy tip, the follower of the higher self, Israel, in that aspect as well. So it's another
Right.
swivel you can look at it on as
Yeah.
well, to step up from, it being people, and then you're applying that concept to self. At the end of the day, I think the end of the road, you want to make sure you want to apply all this to self. Once you get through all the confusion and let it marinate and all that, it was like,
Yeah.
okay, cool. All this stuff applies to me, and how do I, embody that, push forward as an Israelite? How you doing?
Because the
Right.
Christos is representative of the higher light, which is that you fall in the higher thought, your higher value, the higher self.
Right.
Yeah.
So now we got another, right, a way of looking at the children of Israel, right? So, right, the original people that followed the higher self, the Israelites, right?
Yeah.
So it's right. See how many viewpoints and vocal, right? But you have to just be steady to bring it all together and to explain it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of chopping up they done did, a lot of anthropomorphic expressions in these holy books, where they'll tell a story that's talking about the stars and you think it's a man or something, or so that's what we have to just be studied. Simple as that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like honoring all prophets. You can, talk from each prophet and, and tell the same story. I mean? There's no different. You can speak from a Christian, Jesus, Confucius, a Noble Ali point of view and still have the same message, but a different, bottle. And that bottle may be a man, so same thing. The
Yep.
Israelite man, So
We got a couple more, man. We almost done here. 37.
37. How did Europe or Europeans conquer the world? Consider the preceding history and follow the war records of the world, even up to the major world war that was considered as the most influential event to propel the Christian world into power. This is not to dispel or diminish the Crusades or the latter battle at Granada. The battle is question was the Battle of the Tours near Poitiers, France, in the year 732. This pivotal battle, sometimes minimized in history, conjoined with apparent divisions and power struggles raging among the ruling Moors, spurred the later successes of Christendom against the Muslim Moors at Cordoba, and Granada. Andalusia, Spain, in 1492. This is why the year 1492 is used by scholars of the world to mark the axis year between ancient history and modern history. The old world, Muslim Moor, and the new world, the Christian European beings as a world power. 38. What happened to all the empires like the Romans, the Moors, the Persians, the Chinese, the Spaniards, the British, etc., and how did they fall? The interesting thing about repeated conquest and colonization among the human family is the ultimate outcome converges into blending and conjoined in interests. Thus, the varied shades of skin complexion and the distortion of world history by way of deletions, names, brands, book burning, and oppression of the defeated Moors. If one does not have a reasonably well-rounded background studying the world, law, and linguistics, ignorance sets in. Most of failures of these former empires can be traced to corruption, invasions, conquests, and violations made against nature's law. The self-destructive anomaly, inhumane activities, includes the debilitating practice of idol god worship, the suppression of women, dogmatism, despotism, and human caste systems. What is race? And are there 5 races or just the human race? There is but one race, and that is the human race. The human race has expanded into a multitude of families, which are universally known as nations and nationalities. 5 categories or subdivisions were contemporary, constructed by European sociologists and anthropologists for colonial caste system purposes. Yet all social scientists and anthropologists are well aware of the fact that all of these social called races have one human race origin, the Moabite women, who has been socially cast into modern history as the African woman.
You want me to relieve you? You kind of tired? Want me to take over? I got you. You got it?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So what is the New World Order and what was the Old World Order? Answer. The New World Order is the unavoidable acceptance of and ushering in of right law, the moral law, and its isonomy principles, as were coded and embedded within the ancient derived Constitution for governance of the United States of the North America, having its origin from the ancient Moabite Moorish cosmology culture. The Old World Order refers to the high cultural principles of moral government that fell into the hands of the Pilgrims or the Peregrinists, conquering Christian crusaders, and also spurred the destabilizing and excruciating destruction caused by the idol god worship, the suppression of women, and humane caste practices that include to slavery. Since these violations of divine law have not been properly addressed and resolved, the fate of the present day fall of this corrupt and miscreant social order is now in irreversible effect. What is considered old is only being renewed or born again. What are the 500 nations of the Americas before Christopher Columbus? What are the 500 nations of the Americas before Christopher Columbus? The so-called 500 nations in the Americas, North, Central, and South, are essentially the expressed and divided tribes of the Aboriginal full-bloods, mixed and amalgamated Moabite Moors of ancient Amexem. These Aboriginal indigenous natural peoples maintained a matriarchal form of government and were misnamed as Indians by Cristoforo Colombo, or modernly called Christopher Columbus, and other European explorers who thought these geographical regions were part of the continent of Asia. 42. I did a piece on this, brother, too. That's good.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop fast enough to go with his dad.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Come on in. Sorry about that.
Oh, sorry.
So who was King Juba?
Yeah,
Who was King Juba? King Juba, or Yuba, remember, there's no J. Who was King Yuba, and what is his relationship to the Americas? King Yuba is a chieftain or a sheik known amongst the defeated Moors of Northwest Africa, who have traditionally been referred to in history as the slaves in North America. He was associated with the gut spell system of mathematical rhythmic song and dance used for transmitting messages of military and freedom planning strategies. Other banned forms of communication were veiled within song and dance and popularized by the mid-1800s. So before I move on, this brother King Yuba was, when we were going to war, he established dancing strategies, which were forms of communication, so the enemy couldn't hear what we were planning or things like that. We will express it through dance. All right. To keep this in mind as we go on here. Other banned forms of communication were veiled within song and dance and popularized during the mid-1800s. This clever system efficiently moved suppressed messages and information among the people, and was later adopted into rhythmic song and dance for church culture. Yuba has lost its original form and is now called gospel. So let's marinate on this. Matter of fact, before we marinate, let me finish this paragraph. Then we can marinate on this. Good spell. The good spells were called upon, invoked, and poured out to counter the bad spells of the slave makers, propagated Christian dogma, inhumane treatment, and forced servitude. Yuba is also the name of the long open coat garb which was worn by the Moors and other Yehudi or Jews, because Yehudi goes back to Tahuti or Yehudi, is where you will get the word Jew from, right? Or the enlightened ones, the illuminated ones, the Muslims of the old world. The celebrative dance and activities that have relationship and origin with the natural people of the land, Americas, have been traditionally called Yubilee, which is often known by the mispronounced word Jubilee, which most, Jubilee to celebrate festive, but it's really Jubilee, because remember, it's no J. J is new on the scene. All right, so a couple of things I want to highlight with our brother King Juba. So the tactics in war to dance, to communicate, are rhythmic dances. And you see how that was adopted later once we start getting colonized, our people, which they promote as being slaves, will create a sense of code amongst ourselves. So when we start forming our rebellions or our revolutions, like the Haitian Revolution would be an example, where our people used language that the foreigner didn't realize. So they didn't even realize that it was a formation happening right under their feet. And then we had a revolution, right? And we fought the colonists. So that was instituted into what we call gospel today, right? So the rhythms of the gospel in the church, of course, it's not on that level now, but we see the origin. So knowing this information, we can explain this information. Where gospel music come from? What's the origin? All right, now we want to be able to explain it. 43. Who discovered the Americas? Was it the Africans, Chinese, Vikings, Columbus, Amerigo Vespucci, or was it always here with millions of people already living there? Answer. The whole scenario and story of the Great Columbian discovery, etc., is a total fraud and myth. Columbo never set foot on the mainland of Northwest Africa, or they call North America today. He was deliberately diverted to the Atlantis Islands, right, by Pedro the Moor, who was the captive emir or admiral and assigned to aid in navigating the Nino. So hold on. So Christopher Columbus, quote unquote, wouldn't even be able to come here. Who was the navigator of the boat? Pedro the Moor. Right? So keep that in mind as well. All right, let me continue. Do we humans come from apes, fish, or the Adam and Eve, or Eve then Adam, or is it all bullshit theory, a bullshit story, and we all came from extraterrestrials called so-called aliens? All right. Answer. No, the original human has no origin from anthropoids or fish or amphibians, right? Adam and Eve is a cosmo prophecy code for the first born of the hybrid offspring from the Garden of Eden.
Oh, I love this.
Ancient Central Africa, Central America, Pyramid University at the Yucatan Peninsula. Adam and Eve were not the first humans. Adam and Eve are the European Paleolithic genetic beginnings for modern man, who also was known as the troglodyte nigger and caveman. And yes, some of the scientific technology used in the e-breed experiments at Pedras Negras or Yakachilian scientific complex was both terrestrial and extraterrestrial. So when we're talking about Adam and Eve, when we're talking about the book of Genesis or the book of genetics, what are we dealing with when we talk about genetics?
Genealogy, genetics.
DNA, right? Genetics, genes. So gene mixing took place, right?
Gene spices.
Yep. So now we got the mankind, the Albion, but this original man is not Adam and Eve, and an original man is two separate concepts, right? All right.
It remind me. I
Oh,
was watching Wild Thornberry like 2 days ago. Also, it's short, the monkey. When I was little, bro name was Darwin. You know what I mean? I put in my books the other day in my bookcase, and I was like, dang, like Darwinism? Oh, did they call him like the monkey, like Darwin? Like I was like, wow, kind of crazy. But then he says in the show, he goes, "Are you upset about our 2% DNA sharing?" Because he's talking to like Elijah, you know, the minor European from London, you know, his keeper. He's saying they share 2% DNA, you know, but as a child, that like go over my head. But like now, I was like, dang, like they really like telling like truth, like right in front of us, you know what I mean? And I was like, thought it was funny. They named the monkey Darwin, and his whole thing was Darwinism about how monkeys come from, or humans come from monkeys, you know what I mean? Type deal. I was like,
right.
I don't know if that was a stab at dude or if it was like, you know, waiting for the monkey to turn into a human the whole show. But this is what I'm thinking. I'm like, why would they name him Darwin? Like the whole of all the names in the world, monkey name would be Darwin. You know, I mean, I don't think that's one thing that's like coincidence. Like, they did it on purpose. But
right.
That's one reason why I enjoy, anime and a lot of things that, is out there. When you watch it, they're telling you, what I'm saying, the stories. They're telling you history. They're telling you, what I'm saying? So many people just try and put it out there in so many different ways. But it's out there. It's here. It's on the horizon. Like you pinpoint it right there.
I have a question. Is there another book referencing an older book of mankind's creation or us, the Moors creation? Because I've read several texts concerning, the creation of humans. Some say it's like an experiment, or it goes that has several iterations and several trials. So I just would like to know if there's any text that detail, the ancient Moorish ways or the ancient Moorish, book of creation. So that deals with geneticists or the genetics. The same idea, but maybe older than the Sumerians. Is there any text older than the Sumerians that reference, creation of humans?
You got something? You can say something, Benjamin Ray?
About the creation of like the human thing. It's a RV Bay publication. It's a book on there. I want to say with a troglodyte on the front of it, and that goes good detail about how our ancestors practiced gene splicing and that nature. For sure. It's like a white book with a troglodyte on the front with a pitchfork. I have what I want to say, but that will give you, an idea. I'm sure there's other texts, but this offhand, that's the one I think of about, how Moors used to, propagate gene splicing and DNA and things of that nature. I'm gonna go look, search it up.
I only ask because it's important because I feel like we're coming to like a turning point in technology where we're gonna be able to access DNA again. And it was by divine law they say that like Atlantis got wiped out because they used it wrong or they used those higher abilities wrong. They weren't led by the higher forces within them. They used it negatively. So I just think it's important. I don't know. I know it's a tangent, but I think it's important to have like some. I just want to have information on that. I think our organization should have a geneticist or someone who is learned in that type of science or those sciences, because those technologies are like rapidly being developed like right now.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be a great start. the reference of the brother recommended on RV Bay Publications. That's a good little pamphlet. It's not too long. And it has a lot of references in there that you can kind of follow the breadcrumbs
and lead to something. Okay.
Yeah. 45. Who is Queen Khalifa? Where California gets its name from, and what is her story to the Americas? Khalifa was a Moabitess matriarch, the spiritual and temporal ruler and law giver of the geographical empire territories now known as California and parts of Nevada. California was named for her. The royal Moorish rulership title, her name relates to the Caliph or the Caliph, which is a governmental position. The Caliph is the elected official in Moorish government, just like Sharif and Amir and Sultan or Sultana, etc. She also proved to be one of the most ardent queen warriors against encroachment by Europeans into the territories under her rule and protection. She is known to have inflicted many costly victories over European colonial armies. What is a straw man versus natural being? It must be understood that there are two types of person at law. One is the natural person, which is the living, breathing, thinking, biological creation being born of natural birth by living, breathing, thinking, biological human mother. The other person is a corporation, which is a legal fiction or artifice created by legal process, the pen, and by law on paper. This is a man of straw or straw man. A straw man is also a weak or imaginary opposition as an argument or adversary set up only to be easily refuted, being a person set up to serve as a cover for usually questionable transactions. The straw man person is written in all capital letters. 47. Why today all Americans are suffering. The true Americans or Americans have and are suffering for past karma. Like with one of actually the brother brought it up. Doing gene splicing for low vibrational reasons is one of the karmas of why we fail as well. One of them.
It's just like it's like the Will Smith movie. Like, no offense, like modern Europeans are like the artificial intelligence that took over the world. So a lot of people are afraid of like AI and the bots and working for bots. Like Moors are working for the bots they created. You know what I mean? If you think about it, like the AI would be the artificial intelligence because Moors are the first intelligence, like the first mind. So that artificial mind would be the modern European. You know what I mean? Kind of like going to Walmart for the strawberry and then, mooring it, planting it, the artificial way and then the Moorish way. That's what I was thinking about, all the AI. When you think brothers talking about the technology and all that, like we did all the technology. Like look at modern Europeans, like it's something that really looks like you, operates like you, but like not all the way you. You know what I mean? Kind of like the robot thing. It kind of remind you of the person, like, hey, Siri, blah, blah, blah. And you can be like, hey, modern European. Not like that, but you can go up and ask modern European something and give you information. But from an artificial standpoint, you know what I'm saying? Unless they have the proper foundation. But that just reminds me that why we're suffering, because we adhere to our AI, the modern European, that artificial intelligence of the gene splicing, which we have right now, but
Islam. Yeah, Islam.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, oh, my bad. I just wanted to ask, do you think the suffering is proportional to the magnitude of the karmic debt? Or do you think there's some leeway granted some good people are born and do good things? Or is it, exact? Because the stars are mathematical.
Yeah. And I think that, for example, we're in the Aquarian age, right? So most people are going to trend towards the light, even if they're not as on it as we are on it in the Zoom call. But they do things that are trend towards, being in harmony, right? That's why most people are going to the gym now. Most people are into the crystals now. Most people, even if they're not on it like we on it, they trending towards it, getting more towards the yoga, vegan, right? Everybody want to get clean. That's the truth, right?
Yeah.
The truth is medicine comes from the earth. It's not pills. That's the truth. So people are trending towards that, right? But I lost my train of thought. What was the question?
I said, do you think that, the suffering is proportional to the magnitude of our karmic debt? So say we do something
Oh,
is it
I got
proportional? Because the
yeah.
stars are mathematically accurate, and then you know what they do.
All right, so that was my point. As far as what I get from what you're saying is like, is the karma just locked in? Because we
Yeah, is it
messed
just
up.
locked in, or is it if good people
Yeah.
are born, can they do good things, lift it up a little bit, or stay in stone like law?
Well, that's why when you study the principles, right? Back to the Hermetic principles would be an example. When you're doing the correspondence, like if you did bad from the time you was 12 to like 22, and then from the time you're 22 to 40, you're doing all this great work. You're outweighing. That's back to the scales. You're doing great work on the earth plane. And that karma is gonna build up now, right? Because now you're gonna have people that like, okay, I can work with him. I'm whatever, versus somebody that you burnt the bridge against or whatever, right? So um I wouldn't say you're doomed. Nobody's doomed.
Okay,
Everybody,
okay.
it's all about your actions and deeds at the end of the day. And then you start building a reputation as the years go on. And based on that reputation, it's a certain magnetism and it's all on you. It's all based on actions you making in your life, right?
Got it.
Name and principles.
Yeah, on principles, right? Let's see. Did we start reading 47? I began it, right? The first sentence. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So karma, right? That's right. So involving some results of miscalculated aspects of tampering with nature and nature's laws. The present American state of affairs involves both a dissolution of the past karmic debt, Ibri experiments, Hammurabi Bay's declaration of 12 generation servitude upon the children of Israel, or Yaqub, adopting idol worship, idol god worship, the radical changes caused by the new age, awakening the primogeniture heirs, heir apparent Moors, and issuing confusion and hatred caused by a lack of knowledge. Due to the Inquisitionists' past book burnings, miseducation, sociological and political misconcepts, misprison, government corruption, constitutional treason by the monopolizing white supremacy network, and the graduating collapse of the color of authority, color of law, adhesion contract for all practices, the fall of pseudo-religion, and the accelerated rate and rise of knowledge and intelligence among the once ignorant and suppressed natural peoples of the planet. So a lot of things that we climb about the whole. It's all about us, because the information is out there. It's just we have to act on it. It's enough information for us to organize, and there's too many blueprints. What is the fall of America? Answer. Refer to retribution justice. And the answer given in question 47, however, America is not falling. America is the terrestrial land being North, Central, South America, and the adjoining islands, the land of the Moors. The Great Fall is properly the dissolution and collapse of the corrupt European hegemony and white supremacy and the debased dominance over the Moorish Empire. In other words, the Moors are being redeemed and are becoming aware of the truth and of their great loss of state. So, yeah, a lot of, especially in Nation of Islam circles, I hear, the fall of America. It's the white man's time is over. That's not proper. It's about the mind frame that's falling. And when you're saying Americans, most of the time they're talking about the United States corporation that's, occupying North America, which is under the control of the EU, the European Union, the British, French, Rome, etc. Right? So we want to make sure our people know that as well when we're talking to our people, the difference between the US and America. As well, I wanted to add that to that too. So 49, who are the Freemasons And what is their history to all of the Americas? Freemasonry. Let me check the chat. I seen something in the chat. Benjamin Bay dropped something in the chat. Oh, yeah, yes. Yeah, there you go, brother Brian. He dropped the book in there. Who are Freemasons and what is their history to all the Americas? Freemasonry is a fraternal order, which is worldwide, and is essentially an institution which preserves key knowledge parts of true human history, anthropology, philosophy, religion, cosmology, metaphysics, mathematics, science, liberal arts, world history, spiritual geometry, jurisprudence, law, moral government, astrology, alchemy, and potentate powers of the planet, Earth, etc. Freemasonry is Moorish science beveiled and held in secret for the purpose of empowering the few at the injury, enslavement, and promoted ignorance of the masses. Knowledge is power, and if the ignorant masses chance to encounter truth, they will indeed become free. The suppressed Knights Templars, Knights Hospitallers, and the Teutonic Knights were founded during the Christian Crusades, including most of the European orders, and were blended into the Masonic orders of North America during the mid-1800s, approximately 1859. So a lot of our people, when we especially do our functions and they see all our, the fezzes and turbans, all the fezzes and turbans, and we get the question, are y'all part of a Masonic lodge? Are y'all Shriners? We want to be able to articulate the difference, right? So any Masonic lodge, that for one, Moorish science, that is Moorish science that they're watering it down, basically. Now, the Moorish science is in the architecture of the building of the lodge, but that's about it, right? And then the higher ups of the lodges know, right, that it all comes from Moorish science, but they're initiates, so the people that just getting their degrees up, they're not giving them this information probably like 30 years later. I don't care if it's Prince Hall,
I'm not in.
Shrine.
You can come in.
Right. So
I took it over there.
just wanted to
the phone. No, I'm letting you know I'm in there.
All right. So let's go 50. I think there's like 2 more questions and we can wrap it up for today. 50. Who rules planet Earth today, or is it really a secret? Masons rule the planet Earth, now fronted by patriarchal European Christian crusaders of the Church of Rome, which means red men of the Rothschild or red shield. '51. How do we eat to live? And who will survive the coming hell on earth from the cleansing of Mother Nature of living God? Go back to those knowledge or answer, just the answer. Go back to those knowledge and cultural principles of your ancient foremothers and forefathers and relearn those disciplines, the earth sciences that comprise ancient Moabite Moorish science and high culture cosmology. Within the context of your travels and studies, you will relearn the knowledge about the salts of the earth. So we're talking about cell salts, right? Everybody on this call has 3 cell salts, unless they were born premature, that they can use as a supplement, the true supplement to make them whole. You just got to find out what that is. That's one example. So the salts of the earth, your own constitution or your own makeup, and what natural foods are good for you or bad for you. You will learn those things necessary to live a healthy life, or you may choose to cause injury by violating the body with substances that harm. Within the studies of the oldest science on the planet, involving the master studies of the working of nature called astrology, you will discover the foodstuffs that apply to your energy, thus will take action as the original man, so-called gods of the earth. The word God is a contemporary word, is a verb, transitive, being dramatic in origin, arriving into the language in the medieval period, about the 5th century, and should not be artificially injected retroactively into ancient history. Right, so the term God is a new concept, and right, because it goes back to what does it go back to? To Well, God invoke, right? So
Hutu.
God, Huta, right? So that's an example of how the etymology will take you back to the origin. So you can even see how long the word been even around on the scene. So any author talking about ancient this, ancient that, and they're using words that didn't come out until modern, the author's a fraud. Especially if they're saying they're a PhD, because they learn these things by the time they get that degree. All right, so these are things we want to know. So let me continue here. The word God is an action word. Is not in its original form a noun. Thus, it is wise to take action as the original man of the earth and redeemer that man is mind. And there never was a time when man was not. Your existence in the garb of flesh in the realm of earth requires you to partake in the fruits of the earth for sustenance and maintenance of your body, your temple, while in the physical form. Mother Earth provides for you. All right, so that was 51 questions, 51 answers. Hopefully that has everybody in a better space, more clarity. I'm going to read the prayer and close out officially. I have a Father's Day event that is being divinely prepared. So I'm going to get to that. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my God, and my salvation by night and by day. Through his holy prophet, Noble Ali. Amen. Islam, everybody. Hope all the fathers, man, y'all have a beautiful day today.
Happy Father's Day.
Yeah,
Islam. Happy Father's Day.
happy Father's Day
Guys
to
have a great
everybody,
day.
man. And all the Moors out here, Cali. I'll see y'all Friday, man.
Happy Father's Day, brothers.
See you Friday. I'll be there
Yeah.
All right.
nearby.
Peace and love.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
Man, hit me, brother, if you ain't busy.
All right, I hit you up.
Bless, brother.
Bless.
Islam.
Peace and love, y'all.
Peace and love.